All right, guys, we're going to do X-Men Classic number 63 from Marvel Comics. I did a little bit of a preview from the unboxing a couple of days ago. What was it? It was yesterday, right? and Mike Mignola cover, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna immediately do a review because I read this. I have the Dutch version, and I'm very happy that although it's not really the original, is here in X-Men, Uncanny X-Men on the 59. But I'm still enjoying these classics. So, all right, let's dive in. So the X-Men coming to another apartment, and they think there is another person should be in here, Misty Knight. But this is not Misty Knight. This is I don't know who she is. Well, she explains that she's a friend of Misty, but first of all she is outraged, and she says, "I live here. Who are you people? And what's the idea of busting into my house? You could have scared a girl half to death." But Ororo explains that he says, "Hey, I'm sorry, we are friends, and Misty invited us here, and basically they lost touch with each other, right? And they are coming over as, I don't know, as friends, having a visit, which is really strange, because wouldn't you go to a friend's apartment, for a visit in, I don't know, normal clothes instead of superhero costume?" All right. But then Kitty recognized her. She is Harmony Young. She's a fashion model in New York. So Logan says, "Okay, that's okay. I'm going to grab me a beer," right? And he says, "We do not mean to intrude," says Aurora. Miss Young, "we'll be on our way." "Hey, no problem. If it's okay with Misty, it's okay with me. I like having guys around, especially when they're cute." What's she talking about? Colossus isn't cute. I really hate what they did with Kitty in modern comics. She's insufferable. Here, she was a nice, cool personality, right? And I know, people change, but still, right? So Logan says, "Hey, you need to change. There's a reason we came here, because she's meeting with her folks." So that confuses me a little bit. I mean, why go to how do you say, Misty Knight's apartment to change into your civilian clothes to meet Kitty's parents? That doesn't make any sense. Couldn't you just change in your own house, the X Mansion? How does that work? Anyway, so hey, Aurora, you coming with me, aren't you? Kid, I brought appropriate. You brought appropriate clothes. I did not. I have nothing to wear. But then she says, "Hey, leave that to me." So she is, wants to change clothes and all that stuff. She's all excited, Kitty. I mean, all right. So I like that Aurora is not here the how do you say, the confident person that you saw when she battled the Morlocks and became leader of the Morlocks. Now she's more innocent and young and uncomfortable a little bit here, right? So all right, they're going on the way, they're getting a taxi, right? And then we have some, I don't know, brother to brother bonding moments between Scott and Alex here, with Polaris and their fathers. I mean, well, not Polaris's father, but what's his name? Corsair. That's, I believe, his name. But then we're gonna skip that because that's not important for this story. But then Kitty says, "Hey, can I speak to Ororo? She isn't here. Isn't she with you?" But then, oh no, she's lying here in an alley. Oh my God, what happened to her? Then she's been picked up by the ambulance, right? And the cops come in for questions. Then also Logan and Colossus comes in, or Peter. And this is Dr. O'Hara, right? And Logan says, "What happened?" "The police theorize a mugging, possibly by a maniac. She wasn't robbed or molested. Her throat was slashed. The damage turned out to look far worse than it actually was. There's some blood loss, but nothing critical. She regained consciousness a while ago and gave the police a statement, right?" But she also found some weird blood test results from the tests. So Logan says, or thinks, "The mutant genes that gives us our powers also make our blood unique. If these dogs keep poking around," she realized that Roro is, and possibly who she is, the X-Men's cover will be blown open. Yeah, this was the time that the X-Men was still, I don't know, undercover, not really in the open like they are now, right? But she says, well, you have to be careful. She is maybe traumatized physiologically and mentally. And she says, what the blazes are you doing? Climb back into bed instant. Peter Logan, I feel very foolish. After all we've been through, to fall prey to a common mugger. I do not mean to cause you trouble, Dr. O'Hara, but I really feel much better, right? But then she says, well, I think you're making a mistake. But then she says, I cannot stay. That risks compromising the X-Men. But I feel strangely safe here. But why? Why shouldn't I suddenly fear the night? In the fog. Are those eyes? No, just my imagination. The night. I love it so much. So she goes away, right? Suit yourself, but I prepare your release for it. Look at her face. The art looks really good, by the way. It's getting better. But then when I said when I showed you in the preview, that's not really a preview, in the unboxing, I praised this page, and it was really good. It still is really good. So she says to the guy, will you stop muttering, all of you? I am fine, really. I shall be better after a good night's sleep, right? Good Nacht. Gute Nacht, then, Windrider. Sleep tight. We'll be outside if you need us. Just call. I shall. Now look at her face, all with fear. Eyes closed, eyes open. Around her is the darkness and silence. She can hear the faint murmur of her friends' voices, so near yet so far away. Surprisingly, she finds herself feeling totally alone. That frightens her. She tosses turns, trying in vain to make herself comfortable. As the night deepens, her senses sharpen, becoming unbearably acute. A voice calls to her. She ignores it, for as long as she is able. Then, as if in a dream, praying, this is a dream, she rises from her bed. Her hand trembles as she reaches for the bay window, not with fear, but with anticipation and a desire beyond her wildest imaginings. Enter freely of your own will. Her blood burns white hot within her as the fog swirls around her, enshrouding her, caressing her. She smiles with a wanton, inhuman, supernal joy. So cool. Even like this, where the fog is rising, her sweating. It's really well done. Just like, in those movies, it's very well done. So Kitty comes home and says, hey, guys, did you miss me? But then the X-Men is looking all, sad. Where's Ororo? In Misty's room's kitchen. She's not well. What does that mean? Is she sick? So she's feeling a little bit guilty. She was attacked Friday night, kiddo. We thought she was okay, but she isn't getting any better. We don't know why, and she wouldn't let us call her doctor or take her to a hospital. Is she? I don't know, darling, but she doesn't want to go on living. She says, no. And she pulls open the window curtains. And she screams, the curtains, close them, I beg you. The sunlight hurts. I like the atmosphere. It's very well done, very somber and sinister. Kitty says, she looks awful, so weak and pale, so old. She reminds me of Grandma when she was sick that last time. But Ororo says she's tired, but she will recover. And she cannot remember anything. The others are terribly worried. Me too. There is no need. I can see that. You're wearing a lovely scarf. It's pure silk. Is it Harmony's? No, it's mine. A gift from a admirer. But how can that be? He's a figment of my imagination. A phantom who haunts my dreams. But then she turns away from Kitty. The lamplight flashed on my Star of David. And Ororo flinched. Aversion to sunlight, to religious artifacts, anemia, dreams. This is ridiculous. What am I thinking? So she wants to comfort her. And she says, later, child, I'm very tired. And then she's pushing away with anger. And then she is facing through the walls. And she asked Logan where Ororo was injured. Kid's crying. Throat wound slashed across the jugular, but not deeply enough to puncture the vein. Why? Just asking. Gotta run. Errands. See you later. All right. Then, with the night comes a fog to blanken Greenwich Village, one that seems almost alive as it swirls through eerily deserted streets. to concentrate about a certain brownstone off Washington Square. Inside, Ororo steers, rises, and once more throws open the windows to admit her lover. He does not keep her waiting. Ororo, your name means beauty. Through me, Windrider, that beauty shall remain unchanged till the end of time. Through me you shall have the immortality to a goddess deserves. Do you wish this? And she said, yes. Good. Come to me, woman, yield to my dread embrace, join your blood and life and soul to mine, as, with a kiss, I'll make you the bride of the Prince of Darkness, Dracula. I like it. Very nicely done. But then Kitty comes in with a... what does she has her on her head? I know, are you a vampire hunter now, right? So she comes in with a cross, and Dracula says, the cross! Wait, the presence of that holy object should be an anathema to me, but it has absolutely no effect. Little fool, you have outsmarted yourself. The cross has no power of such as I, if the wielder does not believe in it. You are no Christian, but a Hebrew. But then he touches the Star of David, and is screaming, right? And she says, Ororo, let's get out of here. But she gets punched in the face. None may harm my Lord Kitten, not even you. Do not follow, do not try to save me. You cannot. And if you try, you will merely walk before your time through the gates of death. Forget me, child, and pray that we never meet again. And she screams, but then the other one comes in, and Kitty says, she's gone. Dracula took her. And the others don't believe her immediately. She says, I kept things to myself because I didn't think you would believe me. I didn't completely believe it myself until I saw him. But, they said, Aurora had a pretty rough weekend, Pumpkin. Sure, she didn't just flip out. How do you explain this scarf? It isn't hers. Okay, it belongs to Harmony or Misty's. But then Kurt comes in and he says, do not scoff, Wolverine. Kitty is no child. I trust her word as I would my own as yours. Also, my friend, in my homeland Bavaria, we have learned from bitter experience not to take vampires, especially Dracula, lightly. All right. He's German, by the way. Even if I'm fantasizing, even if Ororo is only sick, as you say, we can let her fly away like this. We have to find her and help her before it's too late. All right. I like this. I wish they bring his chops back to Logan. Just accentuate his features. So they are in, Central Park, and there's a castle here. So Dracula, it's not really teleporting, comes in, and they are immediately being attacked by wolves, or wild dogs, and rats, right? We have such threats before, vampire, but we still live. Your arrogance rivals your stupidity, mortal. None may lay the hands of the Lord of Darkness. Just gets clobbered in the face. Ads. All right, so they are taking care of the dogs, right? And they're doing a fastball special. But then Dracula laughs and turns into mist. Oh, well, this looks really cool. So Logan falls, and the dogs of hell are waiting for him. But then Colossus attacks the Lord of the Undead, but he stops him. Ooh, right, nice. And he throws him through, trees, right? We can match his raw power, Wolverine, but there are other ways to defeat him. I've seen the movies Elf. I know what to do. So he's doing the cross thing with his claws. But then he says, it doesn't work if you don't truly believe. But then Kurt says, in that case, vampire, your cause is lost, for I believe. And he's been really then, getting hurt by the cross. And then he's using, he says, my powers are legion. With a thought, I can summon lightning from the heavens. And so he's keep teleporting away because the lightning bolts are following him because he's stopping. He's dead. Meanwhile, Kitty, vampire hunter, it still looks stupid, goes into the castle, right? And she finds a coffin, and she hopes that Ororo isn't in there. She says, empty. It's empty, thank God. I'll pour holy water into it. That make this coffin useless to any of the undead. I hope it's Dracula's box. But then she's been smacked away. Again, look at this. Art looks really cool. And then this shot man. Hello, kitten. Oh no. How nice of you to visit. Her eyes red, her teeth fanged, like Dracula's. But how? You don't become a true vampire till you rise from the grave 3 days after you die. If Ororo's standing here, she can be dead. And if she isn't dead, she can be a vampire. The transformation must begin while you're still alive, and the process is warping Aurora's mind. Don't resist, kitten. I don't want to hurt you. The change is really quite wonderful. Kitty, stop. Don't worry, Aurora, I'm not going far. That stake is no defense, child. With my mutant elemental powers, I can summon a wind to bat you senseless. There is no escape. And she says, please fight him, right? If there is any of you in there. And she says, if you can't, if you want my life so badly, then take it. I won't try to stop you. So the rest of the X-Men, still fighting Dracula, right? But then Nightcrawler comes in while the lightning bolts are still, following him, right? And then the lightning bolt strikes where Dracula is, but then when the, smoke clears, only the X-Men has fallen. Such courage, such audacity. Your mutant comrades are indeed splendid foes. What will you do to them, my lord? Slay them, he says. That, Dracula, is something you will never do. And she blasts him with a lightning bolt, and he screams out in pain. Now, okay, let's go back first. How can she transform her clothes into her costume? I cannot remember that if that's actually a power. Well, comics doesn't matter, I think. Anyway, so Dracula flies away, curses her, and he says, enjoy your freedom, Wind Rider. It will not last long. We have shed blood. We are bound. One heart, one mind, one soul for all eternity. You'll hold me as broken vampire. And he says, that she cannot ever go to back who she once before. Using the elemental powers that are her namesake, Storm generates a madcap blizzard around Dracula, blinding him with the snow, freezing him with sub-zero temperatures and arctic winds. So they're flying to this, restaurant, right? Fighting. But then Dracula, with all his, 1,000 years of experience, turned then the tides. And he says, I am your lord, woman, your master. Your will is nothing. Mine is all. Bow before me, Ororo. Yield. So he's using, his mental powers, I guess, his hypnotic powers. Bare your neck. Take a last look at the world of the living, Ororo. When next your eyes open, you will be a huntress. And these creatures, your rightful prey. But then she defies Dracula. She says, I shall not kill, and you cannot force me. So she grabs a stick, right, because of the wood here. Drop the weapon, Wind Rider. Yield. I'll rip this cow's throat out. Let her go, Dracula. None shall die because of me. That attitude will change once you join me as my vampiric consort. And then she says, I will be my true self, Dracula. I will not shed the blood of innocent. He says, I do not wish to be foes. How can we be anything else? You may transform me into a vampire. You may even slay me, but you will never own me. I was born free vampire, and free I will remain. So he gives basically respects to her. I knew from the moment I tasted your blood that you were a woman of rare beauty, rare courage, rare strength. Those qualities attracted me to you. Now they have defeated me. When I lived, I was a prince. You are one of a handful of women I have met since worthy of being my queen. I offer you wonders beyond imagination, Ororo. But I will not. I find I cannot force you to accept me. You have earned Dracula's respect and hence your life. So, but he says, you will never will find me ever again unless I will to do so, or something like that, right? The next time we will meet, it will be in a time of place of my choosing. Till then, farewell. Now, the next one is really very nice. So she flies in the sun, right? Kitty says here, she doesn't look like she's in pain. She can this daylight. The vampiric infection is gone. She's okay. She's cured. Now this is really nicely done. This emotion displayed on pages. Oh, kitten, my brave, precious, wonderful kitten. I was so scared. So was I. Hey, what do the guys think seeing us bawl our heads off like a couple of sillies? they can think what they please, kitten. I do not care. I have no way to thank you, Kitty. Such a debt is beyond human payment. You're alive, Ororo, and that's what's important. That's enough for me. And then the others greet her, and she explains what happened. And then, the last is more like Moram and Taggart having a message that they come to the island back because, something happened. But that's a tale for another day. So what do I think about this? Well, as you can... I really like this. I really, really like this. This is a very nice tale of, darkness, if you will, and overcoming that. Nice to see Dracula again. But this is not really the end. The story actually continues in, if I remember correctly, Uncanny X-Men Annual number 6. I have that. I only have to find it because I'm a mess when collecting and reorganizing my comics. So we're coming back to this story soon. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.